Okay, so just a little introduction to myself. I'm Martha Stackhouse. I'm the Wege Prize Program Coordinator at Kendall College of Art and Design at Ferris State University in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We are the college university organization that hosts Wege Prize. I've been the Wege Prize Coordinator for about 2 years now, if you're watching this today. And I work directly with students throughout the process, as well as the judges and the rest of the organizing team to ensure a smooth competition through each phase, as well as planning for the finals events in May. So I'm your main point of contact for everything Wege Prize, so very excited to meet you. And I'll share contact information at the end of the presentation. And I hope all of you will feel free to reach out and contact me with any follow-up questions that you might have, anything you think of afterwards, or just want to say hello. So the presentation, what we're going to go over today, we're going to go over the key elements of why Wege Prize was developed, concept of wicked problems, and the circular economy. So if you're unfamiliar with those terms, you will be by the end of this. I'll also take you through the process of the program, the general timeline and requirements for the application, all the way through to the finals end. And I'll show you some project examples and share this past year's finalist teams, which you can watch present on our YouTube channel. And I'll give you that information later as well. So first, to start, what are wicked problems? So Wege Prize was developed around the idea of working together to support active solutions to wicked problems around the world, which are social, cultural problems that are difficult or impossible to solve because of their complex and interconnected nature. So tackling them requires interdisciplinary research and collaboration, which is exactly what Wege Prize is all about. So some examples of wicked problems are, first, waste and pollution, whether that be plastics, chemicals, textile waste. Really, there's plenty of different waste and pollution options that I'm sure you can think of. Water and food security, things affecting the health of communities, access to essential needs and resources necessary for a healthy living. Climate change and biodiversity, including shifting weather patterns affecting not only ourselves, but our environment and the plants and the animals and wildlife and everything around us. So these are just some very general examples of wicked problems. I'm sure you can think of plenty more. Now that we've identified all of these issues, where do we even start when it comes to addressing them? So this is where the concept of a circular economy comes in. Our current economy is built on a linear system. So a take, make, waste model. The things we make and use are then discarded and thrown away. They might disappear from our minds and our day-to-day, but they don't disappear from our planet. In a circular economy, the idea of waste is designed out from the start. The goal is to stop waste from being produced in the first place. So there are three main principles of the circular economy. First, eliminate waste and pollution. Prevent it from the start and treat it as a design flaw in products and systems. And this is really a core idea. It's very difficult to achieve, but if you keep this in the back of your mind through your project development about waste throughout every part of the process and how to deal with that, you're in a good perspective to start. Next, circulating products and materials. Think about how you can keep them in use or return them to nature where they once began. So through composting or biodegradation, and developing a circular process or a closed loop system. And lastly, but certainly not least, something you definitely want to keep in mind throughout the entire process as well, is regenerating nature. So instead of just using the Earth's resources, think about how you can replenish them and make nature stronger. So shifting from continuously degrading nature and supporting it so it continues to support us. And this is where Wege Prize comes in. So we put these two concepts together, wicked problems with circular design solutions. To generally put it, Wege Prize is an annual competition where students from around the world build a team, identify a wicked problem, and collaborate and work together to design a circular solution. all for the chance to compete for a portion of a $65,000 cash prize pool. So we're going to dive into what this competition looks like phase by phase, and it might seem like a lot at first, but there are plenty of resources out there for you to explore to get you prepared and help you along the way, in addition to myself, who's always available through email. So the first phase is the application phase, which is currently open with the deadline of October 8th. Wege Prize moves through 4 different phases with feedback loops from expert judges provided at each stage to help you grow your idea throughout the competition. You can see the full design brief on our website, which goes into detail on what is required at each stage. This presentation is just a general overview, so I certainly encourage you to navigate through our website and find those details there, and I'll send some links at the end as well. So this first phase, the initial application, it typically opens in August. We opened it a little earlier this year compared to last year, and it has a deadline of midnight on Monday, October 8th. Any full-time student in any program at any degree level at any higher education institution from anywhere in the world can build a team and apply. The requirement is that you have a team of 5 students, and they can be a mix of majors, schools, disciplines, levels, so degree levels, but you must have at least 3 different majors or areas of study represented and 2 different colleges represented on your team. Now, these colleges can be from the same university, but in different areas within that university. You can find all of our eligibility rules on our website at wegeprize.org/rules. And in the application, which you can also find on our website, you'll answer a series of questions that help build a framework of what you're hoping to work on throughout the competition. So you don't necessarily need to have a definitive solution in place at this time of application, but know that if you make it through to the next stage, you'll need to begin developing that solution, which we'll talk about more next. That being said, if you do already have a project that you're working on, you can apply with that idea. So what's really awesome about Wege Prize, and this happens at each phase, as you'll see, is that no matter if your team is selected to move on to the next phase, you will receive written feedback on your submitted materials from judges. So even if you don't make it through to each phase, you're going to get feedback and advice on your projects and your ideas so that outside of the competition, you can continue working on them. And you can apply to Wege Prize year after year as long as you still meet the eligibility requirements. So just to go through this slide a little bit more, you apply by October 8th, answering a series of general questions. It's like a basic research plan. That'll go through a preliminary review for completion, accuracy, and initial parameters. And then those that are accepted into the competition will move on to preliminary judging. So we have 10 preliminary judges that review these accepted applications, and they'll select a group of approximately 30 teams to move on to phase 2. That's where the feedback loop comes in. So even if you're not part of those 30 teams moving on to phase 2, you will receive the preliminary judges' feedback. Now let's see what phase 2 looks like. So phase 2 is typically due about 6 weeks after you receive the judges' feedback. So you will have about 6 weeks to work on what's called the project summary, the next step, before the next application deadline or phase deadline. So this portion of the competition is where you start the project summary, which is a more in-depth analysis of your proposed solution. So if you don't necessarily have one right away and you make it through to phase 2, you're going to be using those 6 weeks to really delve into what your solution is. The project summary contents, it's going to ask for a summary of your solution, the problem context, what is your wicked problem that you're looking to address, an overview of the solution, more detailed overview of your proposed circular solution, an impact assessment, any prototyping you've done already or your plans to do so, and then a barrier acknowledgement. You can find more details on this at that stage. We'll send you the project summary details once you've been accepted to move on to phase 2. This is just a general list here that goes into much more detail at that time. So after the phase 2 deadline, submissions are sent to the judges, the core judges, to review and provide feedback on. Afterward, they will select a group of teams to move on to the semifinals, or phase 3. So these 10 core judges are different from the preliminary judges. They review the submissions at phase 2 all the way through to the live finals events. So again, no matter if your team is selected to move on to phase 3 or not, you will receive written feedback from these core judges on your submitted materials. Phase 3, the semifinals. If you are selected to move on to phase 3, you're officially a semifinalist, and this is a great accomplishment. Last year, we moved from 50 initially accepted teams in the competition down to 15 semifinalists. So making it to this level is really awesome, and we give you recognition for that. Making it through to each phase is really awesome, and getting all of that feedback to kind of help you move forward outside of the competition. And if you want to reapply, then for your application next year. So in phase 3, you will revise your project summary based on the previous feedback that you received from the judges. And you'll also add 2 more sections, a detailed material and economic analysis of your solution, which will help prove its feasibility to the judges. Once again, no matter if your team is selected to move on to the finals or not, you'll receive written feedback on your submitted materials from these core judges. So after the phase 3 deadline, the judges will receive and review submitted materials and select 5 finalist teams to move on to the finals, which we'll talk about next. Phase 4, the finals. After the phase 3 deadline, the judges will once again review the teams, select 5 to move on to the finals, and this includes the live presentation of your project in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So you'll develop a 10-minute presentation. There'll be Q&A from the judges, live Q&A from the judges at the end. Once you're selected to move on to the finals, you'll begin starting your travel planning to Grand Rapids, which I will help you with. And there is up to $3,000 in travel reimbursement provided per team. So only the presenter is required to attend, but you have that $3,000 for your whole team. So depending on where you're coming from, if you're able to bring more team members, still using that travel reimbursement, we certainly encourage that. You can see the video of our most recent Wege Prize awards on our YouTube page. And if you'd like a sneak peek into what this looks like, I'd really recommend that you go and watch those. So in addition to the final presentation, the judges Q&A, and the presentation of awards at the end, there are additional opportunities to meet and network with other students, all of the judges, and the public audience. In addition to the monetary value, this is a great way to get inspired, learn from other teams about what they're doing, and meet people all around the world who may be able to provide you guidance and opportunity moving forward, no matter where you place at the end. Also, if you are in the Michigan area, I would definitely recommend that you come attend this event. It is open to the public. It's also live streamed online. And even if you're not part of the competition at this time, it's a great way to learn more about what we do, meet the people involved, meet the students involved, the judges themselves, and really anybody who is there to support these ideas. So it's a really great event. And last but certainly not least, let's go into the prizes. So there's a $65,000 prize pool, and this is how that breaks down. So as long as you make it to the final stage and you're one of those 5 teams, you will take home a portion of this cash prize pool. The total prize money will be split evenly among your 5 team members. And while, of course, we love to see the prize money used to advance the projects presented in the competition, it's not required. You're being rewarded for the work that you've already done over the course of the program, and you can use your winnings at your discretion. So the first place team receives $30,000, second, $20,000, third, $10,000, and then fourth and fifth are our finalist awards of $2,500 each. So we do have, an additional option to apply as a business entity. You'll be asked on the application if you're applying as a business entity or not. And if you do apply as a business entity, we will work with you to have your total award payout go to a registered business account instead of the 5 individual students. Some additional paperwork and verification will be required, but that is a possibility. You can find more details about this and applying as a business on our website at wegeprize.org/FAQ. So let's look at some project examples. So to give you an idea of some successful solutions, here are some examples from final past teams. These are examples. We've seen so many really awesome ideas, and the judges look at, actually the judge breakdown and what they look at is also on our website, so I can send you that if you're interested. So I just take this as pure example, not necessarily solutions that you have to fulfill. So Neocycle from Calgary, Canada, they came in second in 2002, and their idea was a circular solution to e-waste, electronic waste, that used a synthetic biological approach to rare earth element extraction, recovery, and usage. It's a really cool, unique idea that we saw that we hadn't really seen before, so that was really awesome. Next example, the Chilensis from Chile. They were placed third in 2021, and their development was of sound isolating panels made from palm leaf waste that help with urban noise pollution and overcrowding in Santiago. Haya Bioplastics, another team that they placed first in 2020 from Uganda. Their idea was a biodegradable packaging that uses the invasive water hyacinth as a raw material. And they are an active company right now. So it's really cool to see how they've developed their product. And here are our 2023 finalists. If you haven't already read about them, I highly encourage you to, again, watch their presentations on our YouTube channel. And you can also read more about the first through third place teams from all of the past years, actually, on our website as well. So the team members from 2023, they included undergraduate and graduate level students from Rwanda, Mozambique, Canada, India, the UK, and the US. And their ideas cover topics such as sustainable textiles, dealing with agricultural waste, bio-based packaging, wastewater treatment, and more. So you can see the real variety of solutions here to a variety of different wicked problems. And like I said, I highly encourage you to go and look at their presentations online. So that's the end of the overview of what Wege Prize is. I hope this helps you give you a better idea of the full scope of the competition and inspires you to apply. We really hope that you form a team if you haven't already, and we look forward to seeing your applications come through this October. If you have any questions after this webinar, please don't hesitate to email me. I do answer the general email mailbox, wicked@wegeprize.org. I encourage you also to join our LinkedIn group and to follow us on social media. And be sure to check out our website for much more details that you've heard me explain throughout this presentation. You can find information of all of our past finalist teams if you're looking for inspiration and project ideas this year.